So you don't know why the entire nation of Cuba has been plunged into darkness, but you don't want to look like a thicky dum-dum in front of all your mates. Here's a quick rundown before your regime's squeezed dry as well. Ooh, painful. You'll remember that back in January, Donald Trump invaded Venezuela and kidnapped its president, Nicolas Maduro, aka South American Borat.
Please.
At the time, Haunted Forehead and Donald Trump's human butt plug, Marco Rubio, said that Cuba would be next.
You know, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless.
Which was a bit of a lie, because what actually came next was bombing the tits out of Iran, causing widespread regional conflict, destabilising the world's energy supply, and causing the death of thousands of innocent people. Oh, and an attempt to invade Greenland.
I mean, our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
He means Greenland. Anyway, now it's Cuba's turn, with Haunted Forehead human butt plug Marco Rubio saying the US wants to bring about regime change there. Because the current regime change project is going so well. Anyway, since Borat got nicked, the USA have placed Cuba under an oil blockade, meaning they've now run out of oil and can't keep the fucking lights on. Which means hospitals can no longer treat people, and the UN World Food Programme can no longer relieve suffering from the massive fucking hurricane that hit Cuba 4 months ago. So essentially, the US government are trying to starve the Cuban population into taking to the streets to topple the government so that they can impose another human butt plug, not this one, to do whatever Daddy Donald wants. Now, the tale of Cuba and Iran are actually kind of similar, because the reason the US fucking hates Cuba is because in 1958, when the Cuban Revolution happened, they nationalized the US oil refineries, because why should America have Cuban oil? And funnily enough, that's exactly what the democratically elected Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh said in 1951 when he nationalized the oil refineries in Iran. And then boom, not so fast, partner, the US sponsored a coup to replace the Prime Minister with the human butt plug known as the Shah, who was in turn toppled by the Islamic Revolution in 1979, which has been terrorizing the Iranian people ever since. But we don't talk about that. Back to Cuba. Now, the thing is, the Cuban regime isn't absolutely fantastic, with the government clamping down and imprisoning critics and protesters, which is obviously something the Americans think is awful and would never do. Also, 20% of the Cuban population have left the country in the last 4 years, but that's because life is shit, and that's just as much to do with these bastards as it is these bastards. And now these bastards are like, hey, America, maybe we can come to an arrangement where you don't starve our entire population to death. You know, maybe be more like Obama. Which is something Cuba literally said and was a terrible tactic because Trump fucking hates Obama. So Trump predictably turned around and said, fuck off, you Rubik's Cuban. And now Cuba's energy's run out and Trump has said he will have the honour of taking the country and that he can do whatever he wants with it. Which is obviously code for he has no fucking idea what he's going to do with it because he's a psychopathic madman with the intellectual capability of a pigeon on crack. No offence to pigeons on crack. So basically we can chalk this down to the American imperialist regime immiserating millions of people so they can take over another fucking country. Why are they doing this? Why?